I didn't knock. I just rolled up the marble ramp they installed for my mother's aesthetic, not for any real need. The wheels whispered across the stone, and my parents looked at me like I'd dragged in mud instead of myself. My father's first words weren't, "Are you hurt?" They were, "Why are you here?" I told them my apartment was gone, my account frozen, my car sold out from under me in the chaos of the divorce. I said I just needed a place for the night, a hallway, a couch, anything. My mother stared at the wheelchair like it offended her. "You can't stay here," she said. My father nodded, already turning away. "This isn't your home." They didn't even ask why I couldn't stand. So I rolled back down the ramp, into the cold, and I let myself feel exactly 10 seconds of it. The humiliation, the sting, the disbelief. 10 seconds. Then I shut it off. Because I already had a plan. I just needed to start the clock. People think betrayal hits hardest when it comes from a lover. They're wrong. Parents can wound deeper, cleaner, without lifting a hand. Growing up, I spent years chasing their approval like a prize I'd supposedly already won by being born. Straight A's, scholarships, internships, they nodded at each one like checking items off a grocery list. Never praise, never softness, just expectation. The only real warmth I ever got in that house came from my grandfather. He taught me chess, patience, and the truth. Control the board, and the board can't control you. He died when I was 17. My parents inherited everything. I inherited a folded card he slipped into my hand the week before he passed. "Not yet," he whispered. "You'll know when." I didn't understand. Not then. The divorce wasn't the betrayal. It was the symptom. It started when my ex kept coming home late, talking too soft, scrolling too fast. Anyone else would have thrown a fit. I observed instead. Patterns reveal people. The final clue? A shared photo album on the cloud, one he thought he'd hidden. Not pictures of someone else, pictures of documents my parents gave him. Legal ones, financial ones. My parents had helped him take everything from me, every account, every asset in my name, signed over while I was still trying to save the marriage. I stared at the screen until the truth settled. My parents weren't disappointed in me, they were done with me. I didn't scream, didn't cry, didn't confront anyone. I simply went to my closet, pulled out my grandfather's old card, and flipped it over. A bank logo, a number, a handwritten note, your real inheritance. I waited until morning. People make mistakes when they underestimate you. My parents had made a lifetime's worth. When I entered the bank, still in the wheelchair because I understood the power of appearance, the manager took one look at the card and turned white. He stood so fast his rolling chair slammed into the wall. "Sir, you need to see this. Right away." He led me into a glass office, shut the door, locked it. Inside the system, the card didn't show a balance. It showed access to my grandfather's private trust. One my parents couldn't touch. One they didn't know existed. One worth more than their entire estate, tied to me alone. The manager handed me the folder like it was radioactive. "It activates only with your physical presence," he said, "per your grandfather's instructions." I signed the documents with steady hands. Control the board. I waited until evening before returning to the mansion. This time, walking, the abandoned wheelchair left in the trunk like the prop it was. My parents opened the door, shock flickering when they saw me on my feet. "You lied," my father snapped. "No," I said, "you assumed." I handed them each a printed notice. They read it, and read it again, and again. Their faces drained as the reality landed. The house, the accounts, the investments, all purchased or maintained with funds that, due to the trust structure, were legally mine. They had been living off my grandfather's money for years without knowing it, and now the trust had reverted fully to me. Retroactively. The mansion wasn't their home anymore. It was mine. "You can't do this," my mother hissed. I stepped past her, my fingers gliding along the banister carved with my grandfather's initials. I'm not doing anything, I said. I'm simply taking occupancy. I turned back to them. For once, they looked small. Security will be here in 10 minutes, I added. Pack what you can carry. My father opened his mouth to protest, but no sound came out. They left before the 10 minutes were up. I walked through the silent halls, each step echoing like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. The air felt different, lighter, like the house had been waiting for someone to finally claim it. "You can't do this," my mother hissed. I stepped past her, my fingers gliding along the banister carved with my grandfather's initials. "I'm not doing anything," I said. "I'm simply taking occupancy." I turned back to them. For once, they looked small. "Security will be here in 10 minutes, I added. Pack what you can carry. My father opened his mouth to protest, but no sound came out. They left before the 10 minutes were up. I walked through the silent halls, each step echoing like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. The air felt different, lighter, like the house had been waiting for someone to finally claim it. "You can't do this," my mother hissed. I stepped past her, my fingers gliding along the banister carved with my grandfather's initials. "I'm not doing anything," I said. "I'm simply taking occupancy." I turned back to them. For once, they looked small. "Security will be here in 10 minutes, I added. Pack what you can carry." My father opened his mouth to protest, but no sound came out. They left before the 10 minutes were up. I walked through the silent halls, each step echoing like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. The air felt different, lighter, like the house had been waiting for someone to finally claim it. I stopped in my grandfather's old study. His chessboard sat untouched. King in the center, queen beside it. A note under the board. "The board is yours now." I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was free. And freedom, I've learned, is the cleanest revenge of all.